Welcome to Movies Explained in English. Today I am bringing you one of the blockbuster Hindi movie which every Bollywood lover has watched. The movie is named Dangal, starring Mr. Perfectionist Amir Khan, which was released in 2016 but still is the most talked about movie even today. The story is set in a little village called Balali in India. The film opens with Mahavir Singh in his office, watching an Olympic wrestling match. India's role in wrestling is being televised. Vivan, a new employee at the company, challenges Mahavir to a wrestling match, but Mahavir loses. Mahavir also works part-time at a local wrestling ring, where he is a natural wrestler with exceptional technique. He was unable to compete in Olympics and win gold, so he has high hopes that his future son will do so for his country. His wife Daya Sova morally supports him, but they only had girls as their children: Babita, Ritu, Sangeeta, and Geeta. Mahavir Singh eventually loses hope and hides his wrestling equipment and medal in a trunk. After 13-14 years, a neighbor family with two sons ages 13-14 comes to Mahavir's residence to complain about Geeta and Babita abusing their sons. When Mahavir inquires about Geeta and Babita, the sisters proudly demonstrate their skill on their relative Omkar. Mahavir's eyes twinkle as he explained to his wife that a gold medal is a gold medal, regardless of whether a boy or a girl wins it, and that he has decided that both Geeta and Babita will no longer touch any cooking utensils or do any household work, but he will instead train them to be wrestlers and win gold medals for the country. Mahavir begins their training by being a tough coach who wakes them up at 5 a.m. every day. He watches their diet and forbids them from eating street foods or spicy foods, as well as forcing them to exercise. When Geeta and Babita protest about their hair being rigged by dirt training, he calls a barber and cuts their hair off. When he notices that they are both feeble, he turns them non-vegetarian. Both sisters are furious with Mahavir because he is being harassed by forcing two young girls to train as wrestlers. As a result, they begin to play small games with him, such as altering the alarm clock and eating spicy food whenever they can, as well as not wrestling properly. However, one day, they both attend the wedding of their 14-year-old girlfriend, Sunita. That was a child marriage, and she informs them that they are both very fortunate that Mahavir is thinking about their profession and life and not getting them married at such a young age, as her family does. They realize their error and begin the training seriously. Mahavir takes them to another village for wrestling when Geeta, the elder sister, is ready. Everyone is against allowing a girl to fight a boy, but the organizer accepts due to lack of audience and a desire to make more money. Almost the entire village has gathered to witness a girl battling, and everyone is certain that she will lose horribly. To wrestle, Geeta chooses the strongest lad among the competitors. In contrast to what the villagers believe, she fights well, and the crowd begins to applaud for Geeta. Ultimately, she earns more prize money from sponsors than the boy, despite the fact that she loses. Geeta can't sleep after the loss and asks his father when the next wrestling match would be held. Everyone in the community who was against Mahavir before now cheers for Geeta and Babita and looks proudly at them. Both sisters quickly become unbeatable and win every wrestling match they enter. Geeta wins the national wrestling competition and is then assigned to the National Sports Academy Training Center in Punjab for further training. Mahavir is upset since she has been transferred to a new location. The new coach Pramod Kadam Girish Kulkarni has a different training style than his father and forbids Geeta from using his father's techniques. Apart from her training, Geeta quickly makes friends with other females and begins to do other things such as shopping, having longer hair, applying nail polish and cosmetics, going out at night, and so on. After a few months, she returns home and tries to teach her new form of wrestling to her sister Babita and the other girls who have entered Mahavir's wrestling ring to train. Mahavir challenges Sita since she is so adamant about her innovative ideas. but he loses due to his old age. Due to the ferocity of the battle, Babita informs Geeta that whatever has occurred is not good, and Geeta is losing focus. Mahavir is also distressed by the occurrence and believes he has misplaced her daughter. Geeta begins playing in international competitions, yet she continues to win match after match. She doesn't seem to mind at first, but she gradually develops a fear of her profession. Babita, meantime, wins the national championship and is assigned to the same training center as Geeta. When Geeta becomes depressed at her continued failure, Babita advises her to make peace with her father, which Geeta does while sobbing over the phone. Mahavir accepts her apology and forgives her. Geeta reverts to her former self by letting her hair down. However, the coach advises her to lose weight and compete in the 51 kg weight group rather than her regular 55 kg weight group. Hearing this, Mahavir relocates her to Patiala, close to the NSA training center, in order to assist her in competing in the same 55 kg division. During the training session, he encourages Geeta to do what her coach recommends. But both sisters and Mahavir begin separate sessions according to their former routine of rising up at 5 a.m. Coach discovers this and complains to the authorities, requesting that both sisters be returned. Mahavir begs the authorities to let them stay, but he is barred from the NSA, and the girls are also forbidden from going out. So Mahavir begins coaching Geeta over the phone, viewing all of her international competing games on film and pointing out where she is making mistakes. When the Commonwealth Games 2010 are held in New Delhi, India, Geeta competes in her normal 55 kg weight class. Mahavir, who is sitting in the audience, keeps telling her not to do what her NSA coach tells her to do. Following the father's guidance, she wins the first round as well as the semi-finals and qualifies for the finals. The coach tries to take all the glory in a news conference, but Geeta says it's all her father's hard work. As the result, the coach becomes enraged and envious, and before the finals match, locks Mahavir in a room, thinking, let's see how she wins today without her father. Mahavir attempts everything he can do to get out of the room, but his efforts are futile. The match begins, and Geeta recalls her father's advice. Geeta won India's first gold medal in women's wrestling in the 55 kg freestyle division after a fierce battle with Emily Benstead of Australia. When the ceremony of awarding medals to participants is concluded, the winning country's national anthem is played, and Mahavir hears the Indian national anthem. He realizes that his daughter has finally realized her ambition. He runs towards the arena after the room is unlocked. For the first time, both sisters and their nephew Omkar hear their father say, "Well done," when Geeta shows Mahavir the gold medal. And the story ends here. What a beautiful story. I should fuck her in a Benz.